You are not obligated to shrink because someone else preferred the smaller version of you. Your responsibility is not their comfort. Your responsibility is to your evolution. When your spirit refuses to play along anymore, that's the moment everything shifts. That's the moment when the woman you've been performing finally stops fitting the woman that you're becoming. And you feel it, not in your mind, but in your body. In that quiet disgust with your own patterns. In that pressure in your chest when you hear yourself saying yes to something you don't want. In that silent scream inside of you whispering, I can't live like this another year. That's the ignition point. That's the moment your evolution begins. Not when you're ready, not when the timing is perfect, but when staying the same becomes more painful than changing. Every evolution has a threshold, that thin, fragile line between the woman you've been and the woman that you're preparing to become. You don't celebrate that moment. You don't announce it to anyone. You don't wake up with clarity and fireworks. You wake up with truth sitting very heavy in your chest. You realize you can't keep living inside a version of yourself that you've already outgrown. The edges of your old identity, they start to feel sharp. The conversations you once tolerated, they now drain you. The patterns you used to shrug off now make your body tighten. Your spirit starts rejecting things that your mind still tries to rationalize. And that's not drama, that's alignment trying to happen. Your spirit knows well before you admit it out loud. Some versions of you were never meant to be permanent. They were built for chapters you've already completed. And this is how you know you have already reached the end of this one. Letting go doesn't start with reinvention. It starts with recognition, the kind that's honest, not cruel. And you don't need to criticize who you've been. You just need to acknowledge the roles that you've played. The woman who stayed quiet to keep the peace. The woman who made herself feel small to be accepted. The woman who overgave because she didn't know her value. The woman who tolerated behavior she would never accept today. The woman who held everything together while quietly unraveling inside. These weren't failures, they were strategies, survival tactics, ways you adapted to environments that demanded way too much of you. But you're not in those environments anymore. And what once felt protective now feels suffocating. Growth exposes whatever no longer fits. And once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it. Before we go deeper, I want to pause for a moment because this right here, this exact moment of evolution you're feeling, this is the heart of what I help women move through in my one on one coaching. If you're listening to this and thinking, this is literally where I am. I'm outgrowing old versions of myself, but I don't know what to do next. Then my coaching program was created for you. In my one on one coaching, we work on releasing identities you built in survival, rebuilding your self trust, strengthening your boundaries, and stepping into the woman you're actually becoming with clarity, confidence, and emotional freedom. It's deep. It's honest, it's transformational in a way that really sticks. But I also know this, not everyone is ready for coaching yet, and that's okay. Some of you just need a safe place to talk, to process, to be heard while you gather yourself. That's exactly why I created Heard and Held, a supportive, grounded space where you talk. I truly listen. That's it. No pressure, no performance. just real emotional relief, clarity, and support without feeling judged or rushed. So, whether you're ready for deep one on one coaching or you just need a safe space to exhale, I have openings available. And everything you need is linked in the description below. All right, now let's keep going. Here's the real reason letting go feels hard. People don't cling to old identities because they're aligned. They cling because they're familiar. Familiarity is powerful. It's the rhythm your nervous system recognizes. It's the version of you your family expects. It's the behavior that once earned you approval, safety, love, or stability. Even when you crave growth, a part of you will hold on to the woman who helps you survive. That attachment isn't weakness, it's history. You're not fighting resistance. You're untangling yourself from everything you had to be to make it this far. Once you understand that, releasing those old identities stops feeling like betrayal. It starts feeling like gratitude. Transformation doesn't happen in one big dramatic moment. It happens in tiny, grounded shifts. It can sound like this: not anymore. That doesn't work for me. I'm not carrying that. I'm choosing differently. It looks like pausing before you respond, walking away from conversations that drain you, not over explaining your boundaries, creating distance where you overextended, choosing rest without feeling guilty, stopping yourself mid pattern and saying, "No, we're not doing that today." Your old identity doesn't vanish overnight. It fades. It loosens its grip. It stops being your automatic response. That's evolution, slow, steady, and undeniable. You cannot step into your next season by forcing yourself there. You have to tell the truth. I've outgrown this. I deserve alignment. I'm tired of abandoning myself. I'm not shrinking anymore. I'm allowed to choose myself now. Release begins when honesty becomes non negotiable. Not loud honesty, not performative honesty, just the quiet, internal decision to stop pretending you're okay with patterns your spirit has already rejected. Here's the part people don't talk about: old habits, they will call you back. Not because they're good for you, because they're familiar. People will react to your growth. Not everyone will clap. Some will misunderstand you. Some will feel threatened. Some will miss the version of you that made their life easier. That's the cost of self respect. But you need to hear this clearly. You are not obligated to shrink because someone else preferred the smaller version of you. Your responsibility is not their comfort. Your responsibility is to your evolution. Letting go is emotional, but becoming the woman you're meant to be, that's practical. The next level requires new structure, boundaries that protect your bandwidth, routines that support your nervous system, relationships where you don't disappear, goals that stretch you, not drain you, spaces where your growth isn't treated like an inconvenience. You cannot sustain a new life with old habits. Your future self requires a different rhythm. You aren't meant to stay one version forever. You will outgrow yourself repeatedly, emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Each time you shed a new layer, you get closer to the version of you that feels honest. You're not reinventing yourself. You're unlearning the selves you built from fear, survival, and expectations. Letting go isn't a dramatic rebirth. It's the quiet, powerful decision to stop performing versions of yourself that you've already outgrown. You're not rejecting who you were. You're making room for who you actually are. And the woman you're becoming, she's not fragile. She's not pretending. She's not surviving. She's choosing. And that grounded, unapologetic choice is where your real power rises. Love y'all.